Before we get into today's stream, as you may know, my Discord DMs are actually open, meaning anybody can send me a message, whether we're friends, whether we share a server, doesn't really matter. Anybody can send me a DM on Discord, and I often receive questions from you guys, which I sometimes respond to, sometimes I don't, especially if it's a stupid question. But for the past, I think 2 or 3 days, ever since the whole cloutiful thing went down, I've received a bunch of questions, and instead of answering all of them, which they are mostly the same, I thought I would put them all together and address them today. Is Osu cooked? That's one question that I've received plenty of times. Why have I received this question? Because ever since the cloutiful thing, people are just doubting every single speed player. Now, there's a big conspiracy where every single speed player is fake, they could be using this, they could be using that, we can't trust anybody anymore. What do we do? Thing is, all it takes is for somebody to analyze one of the replays, and if it's the same as cloutiful, they know they are using dynamic keystrokes, they are gonna get banned eventually. Now, could there be the possibility that right now there is a lot of 4 digits or even 3 digits that are using this in lower tier replays that wouldn't really be noticed by anybody perhaps? Yeah, of course. Like, there could be people out there right now who are cheating, there's no doubts on that. They don't play tournaments, no one is gonna notice them. What is the impact that those players have on the community at large? Is there really like a big problem where Osu is now cooked, like it's done as a game because of this? I tend to disagree with that view. Someone found a setting to make the hold times look legit, but I'm not gonna say it here. Nothing can look legit like a legit player. At the moment, I don't think anybody is using dynamic keystroke and hiding it. Cloutiful has been doing it for however many years, like what, 2 years or something? And he reached rank 3. Like, it doesn't get any more spotlight than that. And it still took forever to get him banned. I trust the nerds from the Osu community to be able to look through all these things and come up with a solution or a way to identify it. I'm pretty sure, if anything, the whole cloutiful situation has made it so people are even more hyper aware and they're not going to just take every single prodigy at face value and like trust them immediately, which could be a good or bad thing depending on the player. But that leads me to my next point, where people say live plays have no value anymore. If someone is using dynamic keystroke and they do a live play, it's over. Especially if you have a suspicious speed player who's using this DKS bullshit, and when they make the live play, they start double tapping and shit like cloutiful did. That's basically what, if you think about it, in the end, the live play was the nail in the coffin for cloutiful, so I don't really see why live plays wouldn't have any value anymore. This question, what's the difference between DKS and rapid trigger, gets asked by 2 different groups of people. From one side, we have people who are genuinely wondering what is the difference and what are the implications between dynamic keystrokes and rapid trigger. And, you know, you can explain that to them and it's okay. But from the other side, we have people who are arguing that cloutiful shouldn't ever be banned because dynamic keystrokes is a legit playstyle and we should normalize it. The second group of people is maybe huffing on some of that good old copium, because how can you reasonably say that? Come on now. I know we're all disappointed, I know we got fooled, we got tricked into thinking there was a new speed prodigy, but come on guys. So the difference between dynamic keystrokes and rapid trigger, why one is bannable and the other isn't, is that rapid trigger basically just, I suppose, in some ways simplifies or at least speeds up your inputs, but you still have to press the key, okay? So let's say you have your buttons, it's still you that has to do the movement. Dynamic keystrokes generate an input where normally it wouldn't even exist because you're not moving in the way that generates the input. I know this is very stupid to explain, but it's a completely different thing. People have compared it to a macro. With dynamic keystrokes, it's always consistent, which is what caused the entire 63 milliseconds meme. If we made rapid trigger bannable, I would be rank 1, because literally every person who has a wooding or a drunk tier has used rapid trigger. Me personally, I don't use it, so... Listen man, I'm just saying, if we're gonna do that, I will be happy with that piece of news, I'll tell you that much. Imagine if we actually make rapid trigger bannable, Emrek will be gone, Emrek, Akolibed, Lifeline, not sure about Nahus, but yeah, these are my thoughts on the whole. Is it over for Osu? Are we in the new era of like cheating where people can cheat and not be detected? You could argue this before cloutiful got banned. Now I think people are even more aware of those things, so they will be skeptical and fairly skeptical of new players and things like that. In fact, I'm fairly certain there's a lot of Osu report threads already from other people using this thing. This guy, this guy, this guy. We might have cloutiful part 2. We'll get to that.